Hello and welcome to Rebecca Assimilates, my first one ever, hopefully not my last. Okay, so today I would really like us to think about something that we all kind of get a very small buzz out of that we would like to admit that we wouldn't, and it is the allure of post-apocalyptic fiction. Okay, so I'm gonna set the scene. Something massive has happened to the world as we know it. Something big. I mean, it could have been caused by a really small little thing, but it's made massive differences. Or maybe it's just a huge asteroid that has hit the Earth. Not a very big amount of people survived. Probably like 2 or 3% of the world's population have survived. The lucky few, maybe the unlucky few, depending on the particular post-apocalyptic event that has taken place. Just don't know. So I would like us to consider, ponder, or assimilate what it is that makes people have such a kick out of watching or reading about the end of life as we know it. Okay, so I have 6 points that I think are quite important for us to think about. The first one is self-exploration. So it's a chance for us to get into the shoes of other people. We can watch the characters, read about the characters, think about the ones that we feel like we are closest to. And then in those situations, we can see how they react and we can think about how we would react. You know, what would we do? Especially when there's one thing, a similar thing that's happening to a group of people and you see how they all react differently. It's kind of like the perfect way to work out who we would be. So we would really like to think that we would get lost in that burst of courage of the moment and we would be that hero character that saves everyone else and is just amazing and strong and resourceful and does everything that needs to be done and is like the natural leader. Or, you know, maybe like that self-sacrificing character, the one that like puts their life at the risk for everyone else. They don't want to be the leader, but they just, you know, they want to take care of people. People are drawn to them too. Lots of pressure, but still, it'd be quite nice to be them. Okay. We maybe even, I think there'd be a lot of characters that are like, want to look after people, want to look after the like food rations, want to take care of people, want to be the nurses and the doctors and make sure everyone's nice and safe. And that's lovely. We can't ever have enough of those kind of people in that situation or any situation. I mean, there's always a coward in these stories. There's always the one that will steal food rations from other people, lie about how much they've got, what they've got, when they've got it, lie about where they're going. There might even be, you know, there's a few characters I've seen in, you know, particularly zombie apocalypse, where they're tripping other people up so that they can get away, using other people as bait, not telling anyone about it. Oh, it'd be nice to think we wouldn't do that. Okay, and so there is always also a character that, I mean, one or two characters that use the situation to their advantage. Their first thoughts aren't like the crazy panic that most people have. They're, yes, I know what I'll do in this situation. I will find power and I will take it for myself and I will manipulate everyone around me. And yeah, these characters, they are the antagonists of the story. They're the opportunists. They're the ones that we all like quite enjoy watching, and it's a bit, oh, why do we enjoy watching them so much? But we really do enjoy watching them. There is always a baddie. And I don't know why talking about the baddies makes me smile so much, but the thing is, everyone loves a baddie. So, now that we've thought about that, my point for pondering number 2 is insight. So, it kind of gives us a little bit of thought and things to consider about what is right in the world at the moment and what isn't right in the world. Makes us consider things like, you know, I know a lot of stories are natural things that can't actually be helped, like the spread of a natural disease or a massive wave because, you know, I don't know, the moon's been hit by something and it controls our waves, doesn't it? So there's just like a massive wave that wipes most people out. Asteroid said that one. Oh, great flood, yes. However, there's plenty of scenarios that happen because of human beings meddling in things that we maybe shouldn't. I'm not sure. I think there's a line and sometimes we cross the line. So, I'm talking about all of the films about technology and robots that actually we make so advanced that then they become beings of their own and they kind of decide they don't need us or want us anymore. And they seek revenge for us, you know, making them hoover our house for so long. Horrible diseases and things that we've made in a lab that we've constructed that aren't natural. And, you know, something awful's happened, a test tube's gone out, someone's got something on them and they haven't told anyone because, oh, they're the coward of the story. And then they go out and spread it in the world. There could always be, you know, global warming, nuclear warfare. There could be something that we've let loose on the planet because we're so busy trying to, like, overtake everything and conquer everyone. We're not really thinking about our world that well. Maybe we should, who knows? But anyway, enough of that. Point number 3. So it gives your brain and imagination a chance to, like, think about things that you wouldn't normally think about, like the unexpected dangers, because let's be honest, our world can be sometimes a little bit boring and a bit regular, and, you know, going to work and doing this and blah 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 blah, and sometimes it's quite nice to think, oh, if this happened there'd be so many dangers all over the place. I mean, our imaginations go crazy. I know there'd be the normal dangers of, you know, where is the lovely nourishing food we must all grow. I mean, you know, allotments, clean water, enough things to keep us warm, or enough stuff to help us stay cold. You just don't know what kind of apocalyptic event it is. Do we have these things? Have we enough canned food? Do we have enough toilet roll? Oh, there's also, would we have the right kind of clothing for the apocalyptic situation? You just don't know. It's kind of, I know people say it's survival of the fittest, but it's also kind of like survival of the ones that have got the right stuff at the right time, depending on what the world is doing. So yeah, it's kind of fate, luck, that kind of thing. But then I'm also talking about dangers, the unexpected ones, like ones that you can get really carried away with. Like, I've seen quite a few things and read quite a few books where the situation has meant that people have died in their homes and no one's known, and these people that have died have dogs. They might have one dog, the dog's a lovely man's best friend. But in this situation, you know, after a good week or so, the dog's like, right, I've eaten my owner now. I'm going to break free. I'm going to find other ravenous dogs in the neighbourhood. We're going to join and make savage man-eating packs. And we are going to be scary. And everyone is going to run from the crazy psycho dogs. Yes. So that's an unexpected danger, but quite a likely one. So there's lots of unexpected dangers like that. And I quite enjoy that one a lot. And that's the thing, that's what's quite good actually about writing stories, is you get to think of all of these little things that, I don't know, are really fun to think about. Maybe that's just my mind, I don't know. But number 4, fascination and discovery. Okay. So this is something I enjoy, and I know a lot of people must enjoy, because there's a lot of, like, post-apocalyptic stuff that's actually set quite a long way in the future. Like, whatever's happened has happened. It's not a threat anymore. And it's actually like the people of the new world, of the survivors, that 2%, these are like their descendants. I mean, they might not even know that we existed, that they came from a whole race of people where this awful thing happened. This could be like centuries later. And, you know, do they know that when they look in that field and they see all of, like, the remains of cars all rusty, like the shells, there's no windows anymore, there's nothing. It's kind of weird. Like, do they just look at that and think that's natural? Do they think that's what fields have in them now? I don't know, it's just very strange. Do they know that they're cars and that they're important things? Do they know that, like, the strange remains that they're using of laptops and mobile phones and can openers and fridges and things that we used to find so very, very important to our lives, and these new people, they don't need that. They've done things a whole different way. They've had a second chance and they're doing things differently, and they're using our things in interesting ways. Just so funny. I mean, obviously there's the fact that if it's quite short term, if the end of the world has only just happened, like there's the classic burning cash to keep a fire going. That's a lovely flip, a quick flip of what you need and what you don't need, and how the time, a shocking in your face fact that everything has changed and we don't need money anymore, we need to stay warm, right? So anyway, it's just, yeah, it's fascinating to see how the different things, how things have affected our lives as we know it, and now everything's been turned on its head. And speaking of things being turned on their heads, and my personal favourite, Okay, so my last point, which I think it might actually be point number 5. I'm really sorry. I think I only had 5 points. Oh, yeah, maybe. I'm sorry. Anyway, my favourite point is the flip of social hierarchy that this new world has created. I mean, it's the opportunists, really. It's like, it's those people that have talents that in this world as we know it, it's really not really, you can't even call it a talent. I don't even know what it is. And then there's these amazing people, like very, very geniuses with computers and technology and programming, that have so much money and just have everything they want in the world because they're so clever and they've got so much money and they're wonderful in this world. But say it's a world where technology has gone. There is no internet, there is no light bulbs, there's no electricity, there's no backup electricity. I don't know why something huge happened, wiped everything out. So this computer programmer, they're a bit useless now, aren't they, in this world? They can't really, they've never been to the gym. They're not really, you know, a survivor. They must be looked after now. They're just not someone that you just look at them in a whole other way. So, anyway, I think that's enough pondering for today. Thank you very much for joining me on my first ever YouTube video about post-apocalyptic fiction and that little buzz that we get when everything goes wrong, and it's kind of like, it's a bit sick buzz that we don't want to actually admit happens, but it does. I feel like it can't just be me. And so anyway, until then, if you find yourself faced with that kind of situation, just remember, stock up on toilet roll, anything you can, canned goods, I don't know. Never look at your dog in the same way again. And I'll see you very soon. Thank you.